Surprise for Jailbird Dad.
There are many happy stories about children being reunited with the famous parents they didn't know they had. But perhaps one of the most unusual is that of a 25-year-old chef from Liverpool who was recently informed of the fact that the father he'd never known was actually one of Britain's most dangerous men. Originally jailed for robbery and burglary, Charles Bronson has spent 22 of the last 26 years in prison. Much of this is because he has repeatedly taken hostages in jail and attacked fellow inmates. He is a man of incredible physical strength and has a terrible temper. He has already caused over £500,000 worth of damage to prison property and has had to be moved to a special secure unit costing the taxpayer over £60,000 a year. 25 years ago he became a father when his son Michael was born. However, he split up with the boy's mother when he began a prison sentence 3 years later. Last year, though, an old friend managed to track down Bronson's son in Liverpool. The news that his father was the infamous most dangerous man in Britain obviously came as a total shock to the son, who nevertheless decided to get in touch with his father. When Bronson first heard from Michael, he said, "I was on a mission of madness. Now I'm on a mission of peace. All I want to do now is to get home and have a pint with my boy." When the two men finally met in prison, Michael said that he got on like a house on fire with his father. "I gave him a great big hug. It was very nice to finally meet him after all these years. People get the wrong impression of him from the media. He's not as bad as they make out. He's actually a very sensitive and talented guy." Interestingly, the facts do back up this claim, because as well as having a reputation for violence, Bronson also has a reputation for his cartoons and poetry. He's been attempting to have his work published, but the prison authorities have stood in the way of any such plan because they don't want him to profit from his crimes. Michael also commented on the fact that he and his father looked very similar, except for his dad's large, bushy beard. Bronson himself said, "I'm delighted to be back in touch with my son. It's taken 22 years to get him back into my life." When Charles Bronson is eventually released, father and son want to open up a restaurant. Mike plans to be the chef, while Bronson intends to be the security on the door. These plans, however, may have to be put on hold. It seems that old habits die hard. Only last week Bronson was involved in yet another violent incident, and an early release looks increasingly unlikely. If you would like to know more about Charles Bronson's amazing life, a biography is currently being written about him. You can read it with a clear conscience, because any profits will be going to charity.